Hi guys, hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to talk about Madam Mshololo. Queen Mshololo made sure these boys, I know I'm in the gentleman's club, but okay, I'm here now. Let me sort this out very quickly. And it needs a soft touch because what is this? What nonsense is this? What nonsense is this? Let me add a source of a queen in the situation. How can we not talk about what she did the other day for Uram Sipili? Let me ask you something. What happens when a courtroom rules stay the same? When courtroom rules stay the same, but who they apply to suddenly changes? What happens? Because that day something simple happened in court. Not loud, not dramatic, but very dangerous. And if you missed it, you missed one of the most important moments in this trial. This wasn't about a witness. This wasn't about a paragraph. This wasn't even about a confession. This was about fairness. And when fairness starts to wobble, justice doesn't fall loudly, it leans quietly and falls apart. Let's rewind. When court adjourned, um, that day, that was Thursday when this issue happened, right? So on Wednesday, when the court adjourned, there was a clear understanding that the Muramsipile is done with pro forma document at a certain don't. That document already admitted into evidence and contains 19 paragraphs. So he was done with that. Not 18, not about whatever, 20, but 19. He dealt with that. And those 19 paragraphs were fully traversed with the witness, right? Every line, every explanation, every translation. And now, according to Ramsipile, after those paragraphs, those something else happened, and he decided to go back and like do that what they do normally because all other lawyers, the state does it. Yesterday we were like he was doing a what we call it a recap. I would say yes, he did a recap, and while he was busy doing his recap, Ujad Rata got irritated. Let's start it there. Ujad Rata did not understand why it was done. Ubaloy was talking about something else, and Ujad Rata, his thing was his objective was you were done with this. Why are we going back? It was back and forth. I think I've done a video about that already. But he alleged Uguti, the formalities were completed. The witness was asked critical questions. Now that we've gone through everything, we were supposed to move to the other information, to a new topic. And then Uram Sipile is saying, yeah, I did. And so what is the issue? And Uram Sipile Nolona, Uram Sipile did not understand what was happening. He even said, so like, Danzi, I don't understand as your lawyer. But Ujad Rata was not impressed. So for me, I saw that as Ujad Rata um, trying to disturb Uram Sipil. In fact, Bobai too, both of them, him and Baloi, they could see the clean up that Ramsipile is doing. It was uncomfortable for them. And now we had a tension in the courtroom because of that, and that is what it started. So instead of resuming Uram Sipile after the paragraph 19, the testimony suddenly jumps backwards. That's what Ujad Rata says. Now I call it recap. Ujad Rata was not impressed because now Uram Sipile was back to the allegations of intimidation, and the witness was saying that at the very beginning, before anything was ready, he was threatened. If you don't tell the truth, I'll let this gentleman assault or kill you. He says that others added pressure. He says he was being coerced. This allegation by the witness's own version. And then, which means procedurally, we already passed this point. And then Uram Sipile indicated that the proceedings will resume after the salutations, after the groundwork already covered. That's the juncture the defense prepared for, right? Now, So when the case suddenly reverses course, according to Judge Rata, the question becomes unavoidable to Judge Rata. Why are we going back? Why are we moving forward backwards? And Umshololo came in on that situation to say, let's put this into perspective. In a Queen style, my lordship, you would remember that the defense is entitled to explore new aspects. That entitlement was never challenged, not once. The defense decide what matters, what needs clarification, what must be tested. That is fundamental to a fair trial. And here is the uncomfortable truth. The state does this all the time. When the state needs evidence, it revisits testimony, repeats points, reframes questions, refreshes memory, and the court allows it. No interruptions, no objections, no lectures about reputation. So let's ask the question now, the real question. When did reputation become illegal? Because refreshing a witness is not misconduct. It is not irregular. It is standard courtroom practice. And I'm sure the law was like, next stage is science. So, pinking. Yet that day, when the defense does exactly that, suddenly there's an objection, and the objection doesn't just float in the room. It lands, it finds immediately, wait, it is backed by Judge Rota himself. And that is when the courtroom temperature changed, because now the question isn't illegal anymore. It's about perpetual. If the state may revisit ground, why can't the defense do the same? If the state may refresh memory, why is the defense restricted? Because fairness is not about who speaks louder. It's about symmetry. Why Judge Ratesenzalando? And Bona, the way advocate Umsholo stood firm, and no Ramsipile did not retreat. Nobaloyi stood up to align and to gaslight people what he was saying. He was busy aligning it, trying to make it make sense. It wasn't making sense. And I like that Umshololo stood up for Ramsipile. Right there on the spot, the defense was sending a clear message to the bench. We are not asking for special treatment. We are asking for equal treatment. What you are doing is not right. Because what is good for the goose, this is Ramsipile again. What is good for the goose must be good for the gander. Ramsipile will tell you. That is why he went to say, Mr. Ntanzim, I don't know what's going on here. Honestly, I do not know what is going on here. I don't know. When multiple defense advocates speak with one voice, it signals something deeper. A concern that the rules are bending, not breaking, but bending in one direction. So they get tired. They showed up and showed off and told Judge Rota where to get off nicely and professionally. And here is the deeper issue nobody can ignore. In high-stake trials, perception matters because justice doesn't live only in transcript, it lives in public confidence. When ruling consistently appear to favor one side, people start asking questions. Is the bench managing the process or shaping the outcome? Because justice must not only be done, it must be seen to be done. Moments like that don't explode immediately. They accumulate. They seed doubt. They erode trust. They turn procedure into controversy. And once that happens, the trial stops being about evidence. It becomes about legitimacy. And Judge Rata is failing when it comes to that big time. Honestly, he's failing. So here's the question I leave with you. Was this proper judicial control? Or was it selective tolerance? Was it reputation acceptable for one side but restricted for the other? And why does refreshing the memory of the witness suddenly becomes a problem? Only when the defense does it. Why is that? Because when fairness becomes elastic, justice becomes fragile. So what we are asking is this. What I am asking is this. Judge Rata was out of line and Umshololo had to shut him up. and he did shut up after that. What are your thoughts when it comes to that? Comment below. Tell me what you saw. Do you think Mshololo did well when he got up and spoke to the judge? Like, subscribe, and support the channel. If you want a deeper courtroom breakdown like this one, stay tuned. Notification bell, turn it on. And this trial isn't testing witnesses. It's testing the system itself, and the cracks are there. They are showing. I'll see you on our next video. Bye-bye.